Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you today. We have been working on this Gottlieb out of sight pinball machine for darn near a week now. So we did two other videos of this if you have not seen it. We did one where we kind of went through it and showed off the condition that it was in when we started. And your customer brought us this to repair. They had already worked on the playfield, cleaned it up a little bit. And then we did another one where we worked in the back box. So we've worked on the mech board and the back box, but have not worked under the playfield yet. So the thing has a little issue. I'll show it to you. When you start it up, it says tilt and game over, which it should. Resets. Kicks the ball out. It's thrown us to player 2. We're on ball 2. It will score. Maybe. It's just getting all kinds of issues. Okay? And now we're on ball 3, but that was before the ball dropped. It's just, there's some weird stuff going on, folks. So next up, we're doing on the bottom of the playfield. So let me tilt that, let me turn it off, tilt that up, and we'll see what's going on under there. Okay, so we've still got the power on. It's actually in the middle of a game, but we're going to turn that off before we mess with it. I think the first thing I'm going to do is go through and replace light bulbs. So I swapped a couple of them. A lot of them just seem old and dusty, but we can put in new ones. It won't be any problem. Okay, so I'm going to swap out some bulbs with the power off, and then if I run any weird sockets, I'll let you know. There's not too much under here that would cause any kind of problems with startup and stuff like we're getting. Possibly this bonus unit, maybe, but I don't think so. And then you've got a couple, I think it's a pop bumper relay. This is some kind of alternating relay. None of this really, I don't think, should cause startup problems. There is a problem with the bonus relay, though. It's not working right. So something's going on with that. We'll figure that out, though. But I'm going to do the light bulbs first, get them out of the way, and then we'll look at this bonus relay. This bonus stepper unit. Alright, so I replaced all the bulbs, so as we're testing it, we know that the bulb won't be the problem. There may be socket problems and stuff still, though. And now I'm going around checking all and cleaning all the switches. We just use a little flat needle file to clean the contacts. You don't want anything too aggressive, though, because you don't want to eat away all of the metal on the contact. You just want to clean it. But these drop targets are interesting, though. Somebody going by on a motorcycle. These drop targets are interesting, though. This is a mid-70s Gottlieb, and check out how they've got the drop targets arranged. So basically, this coil can pull in and reset all of them. So it literally just physically pushes them back up. Okay. And then there is a switch here that is open because there is a little blade here that's holding it open. Right? So as each drop target drops, it hits these 3 blades of switches here, which I call a smash switch. I don't know. I guess it's a make switch. I don't know. But basically, there are 3 blades, and it goes so quick you can barely see it. But you can see that what happens is as it falls, it smashes both sets of the contacts together. Okay? And each one of them do this, and these brilliant people have set this up so that there is a bar holding that switch open. So when the 5th drop target drops, that switch closes. Because there is a little there was a little bar in there that any of these 5 bars can hold up. That's what's holding the switch out. But as soon as that thing falls, it comes with it, allows the switch to shut. Very cool. All right. But all of those look fine. I don't think there was any issue with those. I'll bet they still work. The switches were dirty, but... so next up, we're going to check out the pop bumpers. Make sure they're not broke. A lot of times these switches will have a blade broke or something. So basically, you roll onto the skirt on the playfield, which is yellow in this case, and it hits this little spoon that connects to another switch, and it's barely doing it depending on where you hit it. So we may adjust that, right? And so whenever that connects, it connects power to the pop bumper relay, which I think is this one, or one of them, right? And then this pulls in, which turns on the pop bumpers. You can actually tell usually by the colored wire. Let's see. It's orange and red over there. Middle one's different, and this one's the same. So there's 2 pop bumper relays, I guess. I don't see another one though. Maybe not. Well, oh, you know how you can tell? You can tell by the wire going to the lug too. So this is like a brown, which is here. And this is a orange and red, which I believe is that one. And this is a brown with black. I don't know. We'd have to look in the schematics. There may be another one, but we can figure that out. But anyway, so that switch plugs in or connects and turns on the relay. The relay locks on, holds itself on, and then whenever the relay pulls the coil in, so when the coil comes in, it opens the switch, which kills the relay. And that's how they get it to lock on, so that you get a nice boom out of the pop bumper. The relay also, whenever it pulls in, it pulses whatever the point is, so 10 points or 100 points, however they've got it set up. Okay, so there's only 6 switches. Sometimes you'll have a problem though where one of the blades is broke or something. These all look fine, they're just dirty. So we'll clean that up, and I cleaned the end of stroke switches for the flipper. So basically it should open and then close. This feels a little strong, the return spring, which might weaken the flippers a little bit. They have that mounted on a screw here, right? So the spring is there, wrapped all the way around, and then there. So that's the spring that returns it. You can make that looser by moving the hook from this screw to this screw, right, to make it a little less strong. So sometimes that helps you have stronger flippers. I wanted to show you one other really interesting thing I saw on this coil. So you have a coil here, which is like a kickback. So up on the playfield, that arm can pull out and hit the ball, I believe. Let's see. Let's check that, shall we? Yeah. So the ball can land down in there, and then that can kick it out if that gate's open. Right? So they have it set up so that when it does that, the armature opens a switch here. It's just an interesting way of doing it. And they put a little piece of foam under it. I guess to make that crash landing a little lighter. But that's interesting. You don't see, I haven't seen too many of those on EMs. These are just your standard little gate. So that gate that was in front of it, if this coil were to pull in, it turns that little shaft there, which is what moves the gate on the top. There's also one over there. So, pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to clean these 3 relays. Same thing, just clean the switches, make sure they're opening and closing properly. And then you have this little, I usually call this a match unit. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing with it on this machine, but it unplugs here on this Jones plug. So you can take it out of the machine. So we'll clean it up, clean the Jones plugs and put it back. But like I said, I don't believe any of this is going to have anything to do with the startup, although this bonus unit may, but we're saving it for last. So let me clean through those and see if I find anything weird. Okay, so here is this little number relay, match relay, whatever you want to call it. Still working just fine. It's just filthy. This one has an extra thing than the last one that we were messing with did. It has this switch inside with this little cog. So every other step, it closes the switch and then opens the switch. Closes the switch, opens the switch. Very cool. So I'm going to clean it up and then we will see what in the world it is. It's very easy to clean. You can take these screws off and get down to the board better where you can clean it. I use just a little piece of sandpaper, fine sandpaper, to clean up the board and then put a little dielectric grease on it. So let me take it apart. Alright, so that's how it looks after we cleaned it up. We put a little bit of grease on it. The grease actually helps it move smoother. It lubricates the surfaces that are rubbing against each other, but it also helps them conduct electricity. That's why they call it dielectric. Where does it say it? Dielectric. There you go. You just want some kind of dielectric grease. Look, ours is food grade. You can eat it. This is stuff we use. Multi-purpose synthetic grease. Now, if you need any of this, we've got this and some of the other stuff we use on our videos on our website. Go to lionsarcade.com. On the parts page, there's a link to this and a bunch of other things on Amazon. So if you're going to buy any of this stuff, if you use our link, when you go to Amazon, it gives us a piece of whatever you buy. So we appreciate that. We get a little percentage of all of your purchases. Even if you go there and you say, you know what, I don't want any synthetic grease. Oh, I don't like it. But I do want some pistachio nuts, right? We would get a percentage of your pistachio nut purchase. So we appreciate everybody that's been doing it. Okay, so I'm going to put it back together. It's literally that easy, right? But you kind of have to be careful about how you line it up because there is a adjustment, you know. Depending on where you put it, it will either line up the little arm or it won't, right? But you can kind of tell where it goes by the marks on the thing. See the little line where it used to be? You can see where it was once mounted. If you mount it back where it was, that's usually right. And do one side at a time, folks. You don't want to get it all screwed up. So we're going to do this side, and then we'll flip it over and do the other side. Now, I got something special I'm going to show you. But first, you got to listen. You hear the radio in the background? It's playing one of those Australian bands. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk about who they are right now because I'll get this video demonetized. So this might be a good time to mention. We have gotten a packet in all the way from Australia. They've mailed it to me here at the shop, all the way from the land down under. When it came in, it was upside down. This is how they carried it through the door. But I have turned it right side up. Now we're going to see what's in it. Let me show you what we have received from our good friends at the Goat Shed. Now, if you're really confused and you don't know what this is something very valuable. There are only a few of these that exist in the world. This is an authentic metal sign straight from Australia, from our buddies Kim and Graham at the Goat Shed EM Pinball Repair Palace. They sent me this little sign as a gift, and I will cherish it for the rest of my pinball repairing career. So, if you haven't seen those guys, there's a couple gentlemen in Australia that are working on EM pinball machines in the goat shed, and they have their two goats, Spanky and Skanky, that they use to help them do repairs. I think the goats just kind of inspect the progress, so that's fine. But they were nice enough to send me this sign. I'm going to hang it on the wall and enjoy it. So thank you, fellas. Keep up the great work, saving every pinball machine in Australia. And we'll keep trying to save everyone anywhere near Rock Hill, South Carolina. All right, folks, so we reinstalled it. It's working good. If I didn't mention, the goat shed is here on YouTube. They have videos of all this. That's how we know them. So you can see their channel. We're subscribed to them. So if you go to our channel, you will find the link to their channel, the Goat Shed EM Pinball Repair. I call it a palace, but you know, they're very humble guys. They don't want to call it a palace. Okay, so this, we're down to the stepper unit. So I can't figure out what's going on. That makes it move a little bit. And then that's not making it move. So something ain't right. Let's see what's jammed up. I haven't looked at the other side of it yet. Let's see if we can figure it out here. What seems to be the problem? Let's see if we can you tell what in the world's going wrong? It shouldn't be able to go back. Oh, I see what's going on. I see it. Can you see it? Can you see what's going on? What's going on is that piece there should grab that cog, and I don't think it can because it's seized up there from lack of oiling. So see that spring on it? So I think that should be able to pivot, and that should pull into the tooth so that it won't go backwards. And then this pulls down and is able to push it forward. Right? So I think that's what's going on. Let's test that theory. It does move pretty freely, actually. Interesting. Hitting some. Oh yeah, there's a little thing there that it hits. Okay, so yeah, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to do it just like it's doing it. Well, that wasn't it. We definitely got some issues here. All right, let me look at a picture of another one and see if I can figure out what in the world's going on with it. Okay, I didn't have to go look at a picture. I figured it out. Basically, what keeps it from coming back this way is this bar. So if I move this out of the way, if I can move this out of the way. So when this pulls in, this pulls up, and then it should go back all the way back down to the gear. It's hanging a little bit because you got a little bit of, needs a little oiling, okay? So that is the one that keeps the gear from turning. This one is the one that pushes the gear, but it can't. See this little stop here? See how we're not reaching the stop? That's because the travel isn't enough in here. I'm thinking it's probably because this nylon sleeve is melted down here in the bottom. So my theory is there's something stopping this plunger from going in far enough. It could just be that this is misadjusted and the whole thing needs to go back, but I don't think so. I think that nylon is going to be melted in there. So I'm going to start taking it apart and we'll see if I'm right. Aha! Basically, this one has the same problem that I had on a Gottlieb home run pinball machine that we did a while back. I guess this is pretty common. There is a bracket here that creates the coil stop and what holds it all in place. And that thing breaks, and once it breaks, it no longer will hold everything where it needs to be, and something gets a little out of place in there. And you get a problem where your coil stop won't go all the way in. I mean, your plunger. This plunger actually will. There's no problem. But since I guess it was cocked weird or something where it just couldn't go all the way in. Okay, and we still have the problem where this isn't going down in the gear. See how that was just sitting up? All right, so this has to go all the way back around, and this little bar opens these switches. And then if this is down to hold the gear, when this one pulls in, it will push it up one. But see how it's lifted up this? So you got to push it back down. So this spring may have something to do with it, but this needs to be oiled and where it can move freely. And I'm going to have to order one of those coil stops. So that's what we need for that. Let's look in the schematics for a second to see what this does and to see if these have something to do with the startup sequence. Okay, so looking on the schematics, that is the I relay disc, which is the advance relay, it says. It lights up the lights in front of the drop targets. So as that turns, it will light up two lights, one on the left and one on the right in front of the drop target. See the little line here? It's saying that like the number 1 light on the left drop target is tied to the number 6 light on the right drop target. So that's the light that it's turning on. Now here is the math that it's doing. So one side is doing that and the other disc is doing this. It's the G relay, which is the 10 times target value and add bonus unit relay. So when the drop target switch is hit, if that light is lit, if the relay disc is sitting on that particular target that you just hit, it will activate the G relay, which, like it says, is a 10 times target value and add bonus unit relay. And then also, yeah, okay. So that should be what it says on the playfield. Let's check. 10 times target value when lit. So I guess that's how that works. Okay, so the switch on the bonus unit has to do with whether Q or O are energized. O being the out-hole relay, so that's what kicks the ball out. So that's why we don't get the ball kicking out at the end of the ball, because this switch, I guess, never gets to the right spot. All right, folks, so some time has passed and I got a part in. So I got a new plate here that is not broken. Look at the shine on it. Look how beautiful that is. Look at that. Boy, it's gorgeous. You can get these from the Pinball Resource, pbresource.com, or you can get them from Marco Specialties. I think Marco just buys them from the Pinball Resource. I don't know that for sure, but so we got one of those in with a new coil stop stud. Put that in, and so now see the brace there? It will go all the way in like it's supposed to. Perfect. It's perfect, Joe. Perfect. Okay, so the other one we had to adjust. So this one, this thing was not falling down in and catching the gear. So why would it do that? See, it is now. It's because what was happening was this was misadjusted. So whenever this came back, it couldn't go quite this far up, which meant that it wasn't, because of that, it wasn't pushing this gear quite far enough. So basically by doing that, by adjusting this, we allowed this, when it returns, to go farther up. By going farther up, it pushes the gear just a little bit farther. So when this comes down, it was catching on the lip of each tooth. That's why you had to kind of push it down in there. So adjust this a little bit so this can go farther up. It turns the gear just a little bit farther, which means this seats where it should. So now when you go back, right? Oh, I should go back the other way. So when this one pulls in, it steps it back. And it has to step it back one at a time so that we can get to the, so it can count it. Okay. So as it steps up, it pulls in, over travels about 2/3 of a tooth, a little over half of a tooth, and then pushes it up. You saw that go up and then back down. So that catches it. Smooth as silk. Okay. Clean the board, put dielectric grease on it. Everything's cool. So I think that's rebuilt and is how it should be. So we've done the light bulbs. Check. We did the switches. Check. We did the relays. Check. We worked on the bonus unit. Check. We did the switches on the drop targets, but really there's not much maintenance to the drop targets because they're so well designed, other than cleaning all of the switches. So it's cool. Flippers, we cleaned the end of stroke switches. They've got pretty strong springs on them, so we may have to mess with that. I don't know, but we're going to see how it plays. So it's about ready for us to try it out. But remember, we've been having trouble with it where it doesn't play right, and I don't believe any of this was going to fix that. I think this was just our next step. I think we're going to have to go through and troubleshoot, but we're ready to give it another shot now that we've at least hopefully got the bonus unit working right. All right, folks, let's see if she wants to cooperate. What do you think? Did that fix anything? Okay, we're where we were. Well, we've cleaned about everything we can clean, and it's still doing the same thing. One can play at the same time, but it lit up player 2, and it's on ball 2. So we got something wrong. Now we're on ball 3, and then it lands in the out hole and doesn't play. Ha! This thing's going to kill us. So we're going to have to troubleshoot it next time, but we've cleaned everything now, but did not find the problem. So we're going to have to go back and try to systematically do it, since our cleaning everything and hoping we stumble into the problem approach has not worked, okay? So that'll be what we do next time. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. At least I think we got the bonus unit working. Maybe. What's going on here? I don't know. Let's try it one more time and then I'll see if I can actually get it to score a bonus. Okay, kick the ball out. Okay, so how do we add bonus? Add bonus when lit. So you see what I'm saying? It's trying. It's trying, people. Look, it's scoring it on 2 different scores. Come on, people. So it's got issues, but we did fix the bonus unit, I believe. So that's where we stand. I hope you enjoyed it so far. We'll get back into it later. By the way, the reason that we do these videos like this is because we intend it to be a series to help people repair theirs. So we'll just show you how we do it. So we're doing, we did one video where we kind of looked at it, because that's what we do. And then we did another video where we worked on the mechanism board, or maybe that was in the same video, because that's what we do next. And then we did a video where we look in the back box and work on that, because that's what we do next. And then now we've done a video where we do under the playfield, because that's what we would do next. So we do it kind of long form. Some people hate that, but other people really enjoy it. So I hope you enjoy it. If you hate it, hey, keep it to yourself, hater. So leave your comments below. Let us know what you think, and we will see you on the next video. Hey, by the way, make sure to check out my brother Donnie. He has his own channel here on YouTube. We're working on pinball machines and stuff. Donnie is usually working on buildings, vehicles, farms, stuff like that. But a fun time is had by all. So I'll see you on the next one where we'll get into troubleshooting this thing.